a special recitation just for Fan and Beck of the Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far edge of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour as it blows, and no birds ever sing there excepting old crows, lies the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as he could, until somebody lifted the Lorax away. And what was the Lorax, and why was he there, and why was he lifted and taken somewhere from the far edge of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock on his door. He lives in his lurkum on top of his store, and he lurks in his lurkum cold under the roof, and he makes his own clothes out of muffered moof, and on special dank midnights in August he peeks. Through the shutters he looks, and sometimes he speaks, and he'll tell you how the Lorax got lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope he lets down a tin pail, and you have to put in 15 cents and a nail and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. And then he pulls up the pail, takes a most careful count to see that you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, a strange hole in his groovyless glove. And then he grumbles, I'll call you by whisper-my-phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Schlup, down comes the whisper-my-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since it has to come down a snurgulish hose. It sounds if he has smallish bees up his nose. Well, I'll tell you how the Lorax got lifted away. It started way back, such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the songs of the swami swans sang out in space the morning I came to this glorious place, when I first saw those trees, those truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees were the brown barbaloots, frisking about in their barbaloot suits, and playing in the shade eating truffula fruits. And from the ripulous pond came a comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. Why, the touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. Well, I felt a great beating of joy in my heart. I knew what to do. I unloaded my cart. No time at all, I built a small shop, and I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And great skillful skill and great speedy speed, I took that soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. When just at that moment I heard a gazump, I looked and saw something pop out of the trunk of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? I don't know that I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister, I am the Lorax, and I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of thy lungs, what's that thing you've made with my truffula tufts? Now, listen here, Lorax. There's no cause for alarm. I chopped only one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. I knitted a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt. It's a sock. It's a glove. It's a hat. It's got other uses, yes, far more than that. Why, you can use it for carpets or pillows or sheets or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. Mister, you're crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who'll buy that full thneed. Just at that moment, I proved he was wrong. For just at that moment, a fine chap came along. He thought the thneed I'd knitted was great, and he happily bought it for $3.98. Laughed at that, Lorax, you poor stupid guy. You never know what some people will buy. I repeat, I speak for the trees, crazy with greed. Oh, I'm busy. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room. In no time at all, I built me a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch, turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. No time at all in that factory I built. The whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We're all needs, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffle trees. Oh, baby, oh, how my business did grow. Too soon chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, and I chopped down 4 truffle trees in one smacker. We are all needs 4 times fast as before, and that old nuisance Lorax, he didn't come round any more. Till the next week when he knocked on my new office door. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees, which you seem to be hacking just as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in the barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruits to go round. My poor barbaloots, they're all getting the crummies, 'cause they got gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys. And he sent them away. Now, I, the Onceler, was sad to see them all go, but business was business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. Now, I meant no harm. I most surely did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factories, I biggered my roads, I biggered the wagons, I biggered the loads of the needs I shipped out. I was shipping 'em forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I kept right on biggering and selling more needs and biggering my money, which all people need. And again he was back. I was fixing some pipes. That old nuisance Lorax was back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and he whiffed, and he sneezed and snurgled and snuffled and sniffed. Onceler, he said with a crugulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. Well, my poor swami swans, they can't sing a note. No one can sing with smog in their throat. So please, pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape the smog you smogged up around here. And what's more, he snuffed. His dander was up. Let me tell you a thing about Gluppity Glup. Your machinery chugs on all day and night without stop, making gluppity glup and sloppity slop. And what do you do with that leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the hummingfish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. I'm sending 'em off. Their future seems dreary. They'll have to walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I said to that Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, 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 and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I got my rights, sir, and I'm telling you I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, Lorax, I'm figuring, I'm biggering, and biggering, and biggering, and biggering. And turning more truffle trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. Just at that moment, we heard a gazump. We heard a loud whack. From out in the field came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree, and we heard the tree fall, the very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. My brothers and uncles and aunts, everyone, they all waved me goodbye as they got in my cars and all drove away under smog-smuggered stars. And all that was left neath that foul-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing. He just gave me a glance, a very sad, backwards glance as he hoisted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face as he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that was left, all the Lorax left here in this mess, was a small pile of rocks and one word: unless. Whatever that meant, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, and each day since that day I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, as my buildings all fell apart, I worried about it with all of my heart. But now that you're here, the word of the Lorax is perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing will get better. It will not. So, catch. And he let something fall. It's the last of the truffulus seeds. The last of them all. Now, you're in charge of the truffula seeds. And it's truffula trees that everyone needs. So plant a new truffula. Treat it with care. Feed it fresh water and give it clean air. Plant a whole forest and protect it from axes that hack. And the Lorax and of all of his friends may come back. Love you guys.